So Jack, just start with your analysis on what you're working with. Last spring when we talked to you, it was sort of a partial group. You've added new pieces, so now you got everything together. What's it look like? What do you still need to improve upon?
Yeah, well, I'm excited about the group. I really am. They have great character. They're really trying. They want to do well. The group that we had in the spring has been taking steps, and now I'm just trying to get as many people as we can, to challenge them, and then to also we're not afraid to play more than 5 people. So I want to get as many people as we can ready to go play in a game. So, but I think they're coming along. Always with the offensive line, you got to fix things, and that's the stage we're in right now. And so, but if we can do that and keep taking steps forward, I think we'll be a good group.
You think you have the 5, 7, 9 that you ultimately want to play with?
Yeah, I think we get 7 or 8 right now. I'd like to get to 9, but we have some young guys that. It's just a progression. I mean, you can just see it. First of all, a couple guys got to get in better shape. Because of the tempo we play with, and so if you're not in shape, you're never going to look good. I mean, we're starting to work through that, and then there's other things. Our defense does a good job, presents problems, so we have to be able to correct those. So that's the way it is in the offensive line. You're just going out correcting things. The main thing is don't keep making the same mistakes, because then we got to get this stuff corrected so we're ready to go in a few weeks.
Are you mix and matching positions, or are guys kind of locked in where they're at?
Yeah, we always mix and match positions a little bit. I mean, we're going to play centers at guards at center, tackles at guard, just to be able to have the flexibility throughout the year. There's certain guys that they're just a tackle, but the more flexibility you can have, the better. We're doing a little bit of that through practice, certain periods. And because, number one, it provides you depth, but it also may provide you more guys that can actually play in the game.
Would you rotate offensive lines consistently if you had the ability to do so?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we want to do. I mean, we want to play a lot of people. It's hard to get 10. When I was at Ole Miss, I played with 7, rotating in and out. And couple things it does. Number one, it keeps everybody into it, because it's not, 5 guys are starting, it's over for me. So even the backups are like, well, if I can get to the top 7 or 8. But with the tempo that we play, you see D-lines, substituting back and forth, so why can't we? You get in the fourth quarter, you play a lot of tempo. If you only play 5 guys, they're pretty beat up by the fourth quarter. The main thing is you can't cost yourself anything when you put those other guys in, and that's what we're trying to build. Like, I have to be able to trust if you go in there, you're not going to mess up a protection or run scheme or something. So, but we're progressing through that, and I think it's coming. Today wasn't a great day, but there's a lot of things we can get fixed, and I reserve judgment till I see the tape. But we're going to get it fixed. I promise you that.
When you substitute, you obviously have to allow the defense a chance to substitute as well. Does that ever come into play? And hey, I really don't want to mess up this rhythm or the pace that Coach Rodriguez wants to go out?
Yeah, when I say substitute, we usually don't do it during the drive, like receivers would, or running backs or somebody like that. Like, it's more, all right, this series, you're going to take this series. Unless a guy gets hurt or something, then of course you have to. But so for us, it's more, hey, you're going to take this series and maybe a right tackle, and then you switch out a guard the next series. So that's the way I like to do it. And like I said, it keeps everybody healthier. That way, if you get an injury, oh my gosh, we're not panicking, because that guy's already played a bunch of football. So, and Coach Rod is 100% on board with it. He'd like to play 10, but obviously he also understands you can't play guys if you're not going to be as good as, you know what I mean. And that's what we're trying to get accomplished through practice.
You're mentioning cross training at all different positions. Where is the evaluation on how much everybody is able to play center if need be? Well, what does center look like right now? Because that has to be very important.
If you go out there, we got 7 guys snapping, because we cannot run this offense without absolute precise snaps. We got quarterbacks, what they have to do. So if they're trying to catch a snap or something, they're not going to be able to. execute what they're doing. So Livingston's doing a good job. Carson Lee's doing a good job. Josh Isosa played there today. That was part of some of the things that we switched around. And so Cooper Young is doing a good job. I mean, we have more centers, honestly, that could go in a game than I've ever had. That's for sure. That can legitimately snap the ball, and we can run our offense and be somewhat effective.
You worked with Rich previously, obviously. So is the tempo faster now? Even he sort of said he's kicked it up a little bit.
Yeah,
Do you see
I mean,
that?
it's he wants to play fast, and if we and so that's the main emphasis right now. I think just with coaches, he wants to press the tempo even more. So I love it. I mean, it's probably one of the most O-line friendly offenses that you can get because the tempo tires those other guys out. When you practice with tempo, we automatically are starting to get in shape. There's nothing that happens on the field on a Saturday night that doesn't happen on these practice fields right here. You know what I mean? And so it's not like, okay, we wake up, it's game day, let's really hustle around today. So that's the whole, I think, coach's whole philosophy is we're going to push the tempo, push the situation, and so I love it. So, I mean, we went fast at Ole Miss. I can remember playing Auburn, and I remember the Auburn D-line, I mean, our guys coming back saying they're exhausted, like they can't even move anymore. And that's what we're trying to get to because if we practice that way every day and push that way every day, then I think it's going to show up on the field.
Even 300-pound guys don't mind going that fast.
No, I mean, they may mind it, but that's too it's their tough luck because they're going to do it. So, no, I think they do enjoy it. We have a couple guys that are struggle with it a little bit, but some guys really don't. I mean, some of the guys are, and they understand that if we're tired, they're more tired than us. So that's always a good thing.
You've been doing this for a long time, so obviously you've seen a lot of scenarios. But with what you brought in through the transfer portal, both portal windows, plus what you had coming back, like just that influx of talent, the different SEC guys, the different fifth-year seniors, all these different types of talent, has it changed your approach that you normally do in like evaluating talent or how you go about putting together an offensive line?
Not really. I mean, it's all about the practice, and it's a race against time a little bit. So all those new guys we brought in, they've had a West Virginia helmet on for 8 days now. You know what I mean? And 3 of those have been no pads. So it's not like you have all the time in the world, and so that's the most important thing is that, like I said, if we make mistakes, we got to get them corrected. We can't just keep going on and making other mistakes. So, but as far as evaluation, I mean, you are what you put on tape. Like when I was younger, I probably thought I set the depth chart. I don't set the depth chart. They set the depth chart. You know what I mean? You are what you put on tape. If you were all sitting in there, everyone in here would know exactly who should be playing and what the deal is. You know what I mean? So, but it's no. I mean, I think I'm blessed with a great offense that isn't that complicated, really. And that helps. The NFL is kind of like that a little bit in the sense of there's some duplicate offenses out there. You might get a guy show up on Tuesday, he's playing Sunday. You know what I mean? So, but that's the main thing. It's just a sense of urgency to get this stuff fixed because that's, you can't jump off sides. You can't leave a 3 technique. You can't, do different things. And because now you're 1st and 15 or, and that's hard to recover from that a lot of times.
Coach O'Reilly mentioned that in a lot of offensive systems, center would be the second most difficult position to play and learn just because of all the demands. But that here it might not be just because he asked the center and the line to do a little bit less.
Yeah.
Are there blocking techniques? Are there certain schemes that aren't a part of this? Is that what lessens the workload a little bit?
Well, I mean, I just think I just think this is a very simplistic offense, to be honest with you. But it for us it is. For the defense, it's not, and that's the beauty of it. You know what I mean? But honestly, I mean, it's a situation where as a center, you've got to set some things. So you do have to be, you have to know exactly what's going on. Center always has to be a smarter guy. I did play center, by the way. But he always has to be the smartest guy on the line because he's got to set different things and different protections and things of that nature. So, but I do feel like, I love this offense because it's something where I think you can play fast. We're not up there making all kinds of calls and doing all kinds of different things. The ball's already snapped, so that's what I love about it. But I think we got some real smart centers. I think they're doing a great job, but we need to just press and get better.
Rich talked about 2 weeks before kickoff is when he kind of has to transition into teaching everything. Okay, now game prep. If you don't get it now, we got to move on.
Yeah.
Or where are you in that mindset? When do you start having to transition into we're cross training, we're teaching you this, but I can't belabor this anymore. We got a game to play.
Yeah, well, I think just like Coach said. First of all, you can cross train all year long, and it's not like it's over for some of those guys. Let's say you got a young guy that's kind of struggling. Well, heck, it's a long year, But as far as getting ready to play for that first game, we got to set the depth chart. Here it is. This is what we're doing. We might still cross train, but we know that he's going to be able to play in the game.
You want to have the depth chart in your mind, even if you're not going to announce it. We're not going to know. What in your mind do you want to have?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like Coach said, 2 weeks before, 10 days before, you'd like to start to, as you get into the game week prep, all spring long, all the way out here, you can do some different things. But now we're transitioning from playing our defense to playing the next defense. We got to learn that. And when you're doing that, you want to have, I would think you want to have your roster kind of, your two deep kind of set. And this is where we're heading. Hey, you've tried to learn it. You haven't learned it. You're not there yet. We're moving on. This is our two deep. You keep working. Hopefully you can work your way into that two deep.
If you had to say this weekend was the start of the season as opposed to 2 weeks left in camp, how confident are you could take those top 6, 7, 8 guys and put an offensive line together that you feel would win a game for you?
Well, very confident. I'm excited about this group. I think they're like I said, they have great character. And the things that we're doing wrong right now can be fixed. There's no question about that. And it's a natural progression. It's only my 40th year doing this. Every year, O-line's behind the defense. Defense, they just blitz everybody, and we got to try to pick them up. So I am not in the least bit concerned. I really like the room. I would like to stay healthy, but I think we're going to be just fine.
You were at Louisiana Tech, the big Troy Edwards year, right?
Yep.
Can you just describe what it was like just witnessing that and just the 27 touchdowns for a receiver? Not a running back, I'm sure you would rather that, but it's a pretty wild year, though.
Oh, it was a wild year. He was, I think he had 405 yards, 21 catches against Nebraska. That was a fun game. And we still lost the game, but it was, as a matter of fact, when I was an O-line coach that year, and I became the head coach at the end of that season. So I had the Troy Edwards, scouting deal. That was a shock. That was amazing. But yeah, he was a great player. I mean, he was a tough kid, and just he was so strong. It was very difficult to bring him down.
Kind of was like an offensive innovator. I think a lot of people would say the same about Rich. Not that they're the same at all, but like fundamentally or with their beliefs or their designs. Do you see anything when guys are that good at what they do and they have that belief in it that it might be different, it might be bold, but there's, commitment to it and then it's successful? Is there something that feeds into what you've experienced on both poles there?
I think what you're saying is you're right. It's a commitment to it, And it's in my opinion, it's always simplistic and it's always you're going to rep things and get them right, And so coaches, absolutely. I mean, I can remember being a young coach and trying to study West Virginia to see what the heck they were doing. We all know when they were just running up and down the field against everybody. And I can remember the days when I didn't even know what the heck a zone read was or what the heck the quarterback was doing. I can remember trying to figure that out based on their tape. So he's been doing it a long time and has had a lot of success. So we're going to keep that going. Yeah, he was, absolutely. Both offenses were spread, Gary was more of a run first. Throw first, run second. Coach was more of a run first, throw second. Set up the throw with the run. But yeah, we're both similar in the sense that spread people out and take what they give you. In that sense, they were very similar.
Have you sent your dad any West Virginia gear?
Oh yeah, are you kidding me?
Is he willing to wear it?
Hell yeah, he is. I mean, it's he knows who plays the checks. You know what I mean? And he knows. Yeah, that. And by the way, we've both been fired by Boston College, so that's that kind of we might as well get a new team now. But no, it's saw Coach Nealon out there, man, yesterday. That was, those were the good old days, as they say, and it was Coach Rod never takes any moment to remind me that we lost 0-5 against West Virginia. So, okay, thank you.